Okay, people, peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. Today I have a special edition of video for you, especially for Christians who don't believe in Muhammad, you know. Of course, Christians don't believe in Muhammad. But what I want to tell you is that I am quoting all the verses from the Bible that Muhammad are teaching, you know. Muhammad used to preach all this, you know. So let's talk about the Shahada. You can find the Shahada in 12:29. I will go into details later. So talk about being Muslim. Muslim is mentioned is in Matthew 26:39. Talk about prayer. Prayer is mentioned in John 4:2-3. Talk about charity. Charity is mentioned in 19:21 Matthew. Talk about hudud law. So Muhammad preached about cutting off hand. It's not Muhammad who preached about that, it was Jesus who preached. So Muhammad continued. Remember in John 16:13, when the Spirit of truth come, he will explain to you everything in detail. So in fasting is in Matthew 17:21. This is the same with Mark 9:29. Okay. So let's talk about the Shahada. What is Shahada? Shahada means confession, no? Testimony. The testimony of someone, okay? So when Jesus said in Mark 12:29, the most important one, answered Jesus, is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. So this is, remember, this means Jesus preached the Tawhid, the monotheism. So why are you believing in Trinity, my friend? Why are you believing in Trinity? Because you are following Paul. Paul preaches that Jesus is Lord to the glory of God. I mean, Jesus is God, you know. When Jesus say here, the Lord our God, I mean my God and your God, the Lord is one. Why Jesus never say, I am actually the Lord, so I am here standing in front of you. Okay, so what are the commandments that you must follow? Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than this. So if you listen to Paul, that you have to confess with your own tongue that Jesus is Lord, that means you are following Paul. You are the Paul Christianity. But if you are the follow Jesus, you are the Muslim, you know. Because you see, Jesus said, believe in one God, one Lord, okay, and then must love the Lord. That's why Muslim love the Lord by obeying the commandment, okay. But what did you do, Christian? You disobey God's commandment, because Paul said the law is done with by the crucifixion of Jesus. So who do you actually follow, brother? Is it Jesus or Paul? Okay. This is the time for you to take stock of your soul, you know. Now, why did Jesus pray to be glorified? After Jesus said this, he looked toward heaven and prayed. So if Jesus is God, why he pray look on top to the heaven? That means on top of the heaven is God, because he is below. He is not God. You do not find a God pray to another God, you know. You will only find servant pray to God. So Jesus was a servant of God. Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify you. But then you will say, oh, because Jesus was looking after his Father. So Father and Son are God, you know. This is the Greek mythology of Apollo and Zeus, that the Bible had plagiarized, or some scribe has plagiarized, especially this is in John, the 4th century gospel, For you granted him authority over all people, that he might give eternal life to all those you have given him. Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God. So this is Jesus' Shahada, Jesus' confession, Jesus' testimony. Shahada means testimony, confession. And Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. So this is the same Tawheed as was preached in Mark 29. So why are you taking Jesus as Lord? Because you are following Paul's teaching, I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. This to Muslim has no issue to the Muslim, because Jesus was known as the Spirit of Allah, his body, just like Abraham. Abraham was Allah's friend, okay, but Muhammad is the seal of the prophet. Every great prophet has his own title. And in Matthew 26, this is the meaning of being a Muslim. 26:39, going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed. So Muslim prayed by fell his face on the ground, just like Jesus. So Muslim are the one who are following Jesus, not you. You go to church, what then you do? You sing songs, sing the hymn. Do you ever bow down to the ground, worship God? Never, You are just like Satan. When Allah commanded Satan, the Lucifer, why you never bow down to Adam? He refused, because Adam is the image of God. He refused. So if you never bow down, that means you refuse to bow down to God, So you are just like Satan. You are the children of Satan. Okay? My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. See, first part there is the prayer. See, again, he pray, supplicate to the God that to pass the cup from him. Okay, but then Jesus submitted to the will of God when he said, not as I will, but as you will. That means never mind, I follow your commandment, I bow down to your will. So Jesus bowed down to the will of God. That is the meaning of Muslim. Okay, Christian, Muslim does not mean follow Muhammad. Muslim means you follow Jesus, bow down to the will of God, because Jesus bowed down to God's will. So that's why Muslim all bow down to God's will. That is the meaning of Muslim. Muslim does not mean following Muhammad, where you get the idea from, or maybe you are not so smart to understand, John 4:23, prayer, worship, and salah. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. So, why do Muslims worship to Allah? Because this is the teaching of Jesus, Muhammad just carry on. Remember, Muhammad was the Spirit of truth that Jesus will send. Because he did not complete his work. He did not complete his mission. Jesus did not complete his mission. That's why he said, I have yet so many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now, because the Spirit of truth is actually by the name of Ahmad in Aramaic, but in Arabic is Muhammad, and he is an Arab. So how do you think the disciple can accept that? Of course, that's why Jesus said that. You cannot bear them now, but when the Spirit of truth comes, you will slowly understand. But when Muhammad came, the Jews, the rabbi, all do not accept him, because they were expecting a Jewish prophet. Okay? So now you know, Muslim worship the Father, the God, Allah, not Jesus. So whoever worship Jesus, you are not following Jesus, you are following Paul. Okay? Jesus was the messenger. So if Paul said Jesus is the Lord, then you are not following Jesus, you are following Paul. Okay, what is Matthew 19? Charity, 19:21. So Jesus also preached about charity, Jesus answered, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me. You see how many of the rich Christians out there are wasting money on mansions, luxury jet. Don't say those rich men like footballer, athletes, just talk about the pastor. The pastor even buys luxury mansion, buy luxury cars, for themselves, when they are supposed to give away everything and give the money to charity, to the poor. So how many of your pastors are not doing that? Do you notice how many of your pastors are actually not working? They are supposed to be a working pastor, have a daily job and only preach on Sunday, correct or not? Hey, you are making them rich for nothing, That is not the teaching of Jesus. That's why I say you are not following Jesus, yet you claim, I'm a Christian. So Matthew 5 is about hudud law. So you think Muhammad came to chop off head and chop off hand? You think for no reason? It's because he's following Jesus' teaching, That's in the adultery 27. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. You see, if your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. So this is hudud law taught by Jesus, your Lord, your God, but you are not listening, right? And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell. I can't say enough. This is self-explanatory, So do you follow Jesus? But you say, no, Jesus paid for my sin already, so I no need to cut off my hand. Very good. Who teach you that? Who teach you about the atonement of sin? It was Paul, the false apostle Paul, that Jesus had given warning in Matthew 16:6 and Matthew 24:26. Okay? If you follow Paul, you are not following Jesus, But that you claim you are Christian, following Jesus, but you are following Paul. So you should be Paulinites. In Mark 9:29, which is the same with Matthew 17:21, he replied, "This kind can come out only by prayer and fasting." After Jesus cast out demons in someone, the disciple asked, "How can you do that?" No, in order to be holy, you must do a lot of prayer and fasting. How many of you Christians are actually praying? You see, Muslims pray 5 times a day, and if they follow the Sunnah, they fasting every Monday and Thursday. You see, that's why Muslims are holy. Muslims are following Jesus' teaching, you know. But you are not. You are following Paul's teaching. Jesus died for you. Very good. Because Paul told you that. And then Paul told you to worship Jesus. When Jesus said, you are to worship the Father, the God, Allah, you know. So to be holy, one must pray and fast. So, Christian, do you follow Jesus or you follow the rubbish dump, which is Paul and your pastor, you know? So, if you understand Matthew 26:39, you must bow down, pray by bowing down, and you must submit to the will of God. That is the meaning of Muslim. That's why Jesus bowed down in prayer, face to the ground. And then Jesus said, the true worshippers in John 4:2-3 worship the Father. So if you worship Jesus, that means you are not listening to Jesus. You are listening to Paul and your pastor, who are getting rich every month, you know, by your tithe money, you know. And then that's why Jesus said, follow me, follow Jesus. That's the reason why Jesus said, follow me, because I am the truth and I am the life. So if you follow Paul, you are going to hell, you know. Okay? Thank you very much.